Okay, all right, brilliant. Welcome. So we're just recording, and also welcome Zaid. I'll be sharing a screen shortly, but I just want to connect with you all, and this is your session. So feel free to come on. This recording is being shared for people on the challenge, or somebody that joins late, or anyone that intended to join and they didn't get to register or attend in person. Welcome, Ishna. How are you? Welcome, Zaid.
Hi, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Thank you for joining us, guys. So Ishna, somebody who's already signed up to the challenge. Ishna, have you seen a recording previously or attended one before? Is this the first one?
This is the first one, actually. I was just prepping for Guru Purnima and I got your message. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to listen to the class."
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Zahid, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen now, guys. And as a reminder, and just to create context, guys, this is a safe space for you to ask anything, to share anything that you would like to share, any questions that you have. I'm really here to serve you. So I want you all to consider this as this is not like, we're not streaming this live anywhere. It's recorded for participants or people curious in the program. It is preparation for the program starting Monday. So if you just happen to see a post somewhere, which was really impressive to see, that I don't know yet who's posted about us, and you saw it and you inspired and you clicked on the link and you've shown up today, well done to all of you, those of you that have shown up. As mentioned, there's a large number of people that signed up. So I am assuming whoever it was that has shared or posted about us has done so generously out of their own will. I'm not sure who it is. And
it's a lady called Rina Thakrar.
Rina Thakrar.
Yeah, she posted a recommendation this morning.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Amazing. Yeah,
there's a couple of other ladies as well. Yeah.
Ah, amazing, amazing. I had no idea about that. Yeah, she is amazing. She's somebody I've been meaning to reach out to do an interview with. Yeah, she's midway through her second program, and amazing shift that she has caused. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Rita. So guys, as a reminder, this is my Saturday morning hangout with you guys, or Saturday midday where I am. I'm an hour ahead in Zambia. So feel free to come with your cup of tea, if you're in your pajamas or whatever you're doing, lounging at home. Let this be a chill out. This is how the webinars go. This is how it will be if and when you guys join the program. And I will explain what I mean about the program that we call the FITBANKER Challenge. But to create context, I will share this quote by Dalai Lama. When asked what surprised him most about humanity, the Dalai Lama answered man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he's so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the future, does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he's never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. So on that note, that is in high level what I got present to, what I got aware to through my journey. And that image on the left is me. That's me when I thought I was living a life of success. I was vice president at JP Morgan. I was as the adjective goes around, a fat banker. And as far as I was concerned, all I was doing was perfect, fine in the definition of success. And I'm going to be sharing my story as we go into today's session. And after a health scare, I decided to prioritize my well-being. And what I'm now committed to is that other human beings do not have to go through a setback. They do not have to go through a loss. They do not have to go through a health scare. And that you can proactively have an approach to taking on and pursuing optimal health. And so there's a thing we say on the FITBANKER community: if your why is clear, then the how is easy. So that said, and anyone that's just joined, my name's Ronnie. And I'm the founder of FITBANKER, but FITBANKER is really led by a group of amazing leaders, people that we call FITBANKER coaches. There's a large community of people. It's a very community-based program. And so we are, we love to grow amongst what we call the environment, the community, and the habits that we bask in. That's what generally keeps us in action. Now, I'm going to go into the next slide, and we're going to do a little bit of visualization. And I am going to ask for some of your participation. So if you can come on camera, that would be great. Or if you can unmute yourself at the point you want to share, then please do. And if for whatever reason you are like I used to be, shy or apprehensive about coming on camera, then you can type in the chat and you can put your response to anything that we do there. So we're going to do about a 20 to 30 second visualization. And assuming and hoping nobody is driving right now, I'm going to ask you guys in a second to close your eyes. But as mentioned at the start, you cannot commence any transformation journey without a very clear why. What do we mean by that? We're going to look at why are all of you guys on this webinar? Why are all of you interested in your health? Like, think about it. Like, what made you get on this morning? And just so you know, there's a multitude, dozens of people have signed up for this masterclass. Out of those dozens, what do we have? We have so far 8 of us on here. So there's a certain caliber of person that takes an action, being inspired in a moment, clicking on a link, registering their details, and then there is within that group a certain type of leader that actually shows up, which is you guys who have shown up so far, and hopefully there'll be more people still showing up. They may be managing or dealing with something at their end. That said, we're now going to do a little bit of visualization, and I want you all to close your eyes. So as you close your eyes, I want to share something that I'm committed to personally in my life, my personal mission statement, or as FITBANKER, and that is to empower human beings to discover what I call their unlimited potential. I'm going to define unlimited potential, but I want you to tell me what you see yourself doing if you are living, having discovered your unlimited potential. So I want you to first picture yourself, a bird's eye view of yourself, and you're somewhere in action, being or doing something that you love. There's one thing different. There's a couple things different here, is that you have a peak level of energy level that you've not experienced before. You have peak levels of strength. You have a whole and complete level of self-confidence. And if those 3 things are there, peak energy, peak strength, and peak confidence, I want you to tell me, what do you see in that image you're doing? Who are you being, or what are you doing? And I had this vision, and I asked myself this question around what I would rather be doing. And I'd asked myself this question when I was actually in a hospital bed. And the vision I saw was climbing up a mountain, and I thought, if I could have that peak energy, peak strength, and peak confidence, I'd be running up a mountain, holding my 2 boys hands in tow, and going up Mount Kilimanjaro. And that at that time, by the way, I'd never been up Mount Kilimanjaro. I wasn't even a dad. We didn't have 2 boys. We do now. But at that time, we didn't. But I had that vision now. And fast forward a few years, and I've now been up Mount Kilimanjaro 7 times. I've summited 6 times, and the 7th time was taking my 3-year-old boy up to 4,000 meters. So that said, that's the vision I saw. That's the visual I saw. I'm going to ask you guys to come into the room, into the webinar, and I want to get a couple shares from some of you. So who would like to volunteer? If you can, please come on camera and unmute yourself. I'd love to hear what you saw. And as we share, there is power in our speech and there's power in our declaration. So please do share what you saw. So who'd like to go first? This is your session, so I am going to, if you're thinking you'll go second, I want you to go first.
Hi, I'll go first then.
Let's go for it, Rita.
Okay, so I wasn't quite trekking up Kilimanjaro like you were. I think for me, I was just like thinking, I'd just love to get into all of those dresses that are hanging in my wardrobe and actually wear a pair of high heels again.
Wow.
And just go rock it, basically, and just ooze with that extra layer of confidence.
Wow, amazing, 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 amazing. And that's also what a lot of other people who've done this program have and visualize. In fact, there's a group right now that I've just started sharing photos on their challenge. I just heard about this morning. They've started sharing photos of their dresses that they have as their goal to fit into, which they haven't for a while. And so, and many of them are getting close to it. So lovely to hear you share that. Okay.
Sure.
Who else would like to share? Damini? Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I was too shy to say that, but I was thinking the same, I am, yes, overweight. And I really want to get into some of my, as she said, Rita said, to get into one of her favorite dresses and, feel like, yes, I can do that.
Amazing,
That
amazing.
is my, yeah.
Amazing. Really
I was
important.
too shy to say that. So.
Oh, thank you for not being shy, and Rita, thank you for leading the way. So thanks for sharing that. Anybody else like to share? What was it you saw? Zaid?
Hi, Ronnie. It's Zahid. Yes, I saw myself because I'm diabetic and always tired and sleepy. I saw myself in the gym working out and you see actively doing, my tasks.
Amazing, amazing. So Zaid, can I ask, how did you find out about FITBANKER, about today's session?
Rishi Patel.
Rishi Patel, the
Yes.
the martial artist.
Correct.
Amazing. Yeah, he's one of our coaches. He's an amazing coach. So well done and welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, brilliant. Okay, that said, anyone else? Whatever you saw as a vision, I need your brain to articulate that. There's science behind this. So if you want, you can type it in the chat so that others get a sense of what you saw. And if you want to share where you're joining from and how you found out about us, please also put that in the chat. So the way the mind works, one half of our brain is analytical. It understands words, numbers, logic. The other side is creative, and it's visual. And the way our human performance works is that we're driven into performance when we can see where we're going to, and there's clarity on the direction. When I'm going up Mount Kilimanjaro, we can see the peak from time to time. Sometimes that vision gets a bit blurry. The clouds come in the way, we don't see it, or we end up in a valley on the mountain as we're going up, and we lose sight of that vision. But the clearer the vision, the clearer that visual, the easier for it is for human beings to pull into that future that we see. So on the FITBANKER challenge, what we look at is, if we know that, and if we can create a very powerful why, then we know what we're working towards or aspiring towards. But what we do on the FITBANKER challenge is we first of all start off by awareness about how on earth did we wind up the way we did. So, where, Damini shared, Rita's shared, Zaid shared, where we are right now, where I am right now, is a function of what I call our body and life, is a function of what I call this other IBS called internal belief system. This internal belief system creates the I that we are. And the I that we are is made up of three small I's, which is the inspiration that we possess, the information that we have or think that we need to know, and the implementation that keeps us in action in pursuit of that thing that's inspired us. I'll give you an example. When I was in banking, and this guy that you see here on the left, the inspiration I had was I saw somewhere online in a magazine, on the Evening Standard newspaper while I was on the tube once in London, about these guys went out to Mayfair and they spent £30,000 on a drinks bill. And those days I used to love going, eating out, partying out, drinking out. And I thought, you know what, I'd love to be able to live that kind of lifestyle and spend that and not worry about it. And then there's the information. The information I thought I needed to do that was my technical knowledge, a chartered accountant, chartered financial analyst, being an investment banker. And however, I had to work my corporate career ladder to get to the top, get promotions, and eventually get there. That's what I thought. And thirdly is what I call implementation. As a banker, the thing that led to that body and that lifestyle was I had a job contract, I had a job description, I had a Monday to Friday role, and a lot of the times on the weekends, while it said it was 9 to 5, I would get in at about 8 something or 9 a.m. and I would leave there 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., or sometimes midnight. That was normal for me. And going in and going out meant I never had the thought or the capacity in my mind to actually look at and explore anything else in my life. I didn't have the time and the bandwidth to look at my well-being, to look at family, to look at my entrepreneurial ambitions or creativity or hobbies or anything of that sort. And a lot of us, if you look at where you are right now, look at where you are in terms of the body and the lifestyle, maybe the stage of life that you're at. What you do is driven by something that inspired you, that looked like logical to work towards and get there where you are right now. There's certain information you possess to get you to where you are, and your daily routine is your implementation structure. But if you're here and you're on this program on the science of transformative health, we're going to tell you what you need to do to transform any area of your life that you want to transform. We're going to focus on health, but any area as well. We will only shift when we begin to alter what's going on internally, which is our internal belief system. And that's why a big part of FITBANKER is focusing on mind and mindset coaching so that it becomes sustainable, enjoyable, and it's long lasting. That said, I'm going to tell you why this really matters and why I'm very passionate about what we do, why this is my business, and why and how we've caused some amazing results. That's me at 2014 with that old belief system and the old life and the old physique and body that I had. Fast forward 7 months, and I went from 108 kg down to 75.9 kilos. I lost 70 pounds in that process. I lost about 20% or 25% body fat, and I gained muscle. And at 35, I had utmost strength, peak energy, and a lot of self-confidence that it led me to leave as vice president of JP Morgan, going into the career and world that I did. But let me take you through that journey. When I was in banking, I thought I was living a life of success. But what drove me, my internal belief system, was certain sayings and quotes I would tell myself, like, work hard, party harder. That internal voice is quite loud on the inside, even though we don't say it externally. So I would work my hours, and I would still demonstrate and show up for, on the left, there was at a particular auction, there's catching up at some restaurant, out there is that speaking at a friend's wedding. And that lifestyle, everything I tried and whatever I do, I thought, you know what, I'm just stuck with this body. This is the one God dealt me, and I can't do anything about it. And what's more is I was resigned. I gave up that anything could ever change. So I formed a subconscious way of refuting that I am now unable to do certain things, activities, hobbies, and actions. And so subconsciously, what I would do is I would be a demonstration to the world to say, you can't tell me and you don't tell me what to do. And I'm still able to function normally and do as much as I possibly or previously could. So on the left is me showing people, look, I can still go out and party. I can work hard and party harder. In the middle is me doing Kilimanjaro for the first time. I was still 100 kilos at the time. That was in 2014. And on the right, there's earlier that year as well, I'm in New Zealand, and I'm on the beach, and I am doing the Daniel Craig pose. Now, why do I say I'm doing the Daniel Craig pose? Is I would use, and the old me would use, a lot of what I call self-deprecating humor. And a lot of us do this. A lot of us say these things of us, where we use self-deprecating humor to make humor or jokes about ourselves. We joke about our appearance, we joke about our eating habits, we joke about the hours we sleep, we joke about our drinking habits, and that lifestyle and living that lifestyle is not much of that shifts. And living that lifestyle, when I was living what I thought was the definition of success, in 2013, we were up in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival. And while at the Fringe Festival, we're there to celebrate my wife's birthday. Welcome, Lavina, just acknowledging Lavina in the house. We were at the Fringe Festival celebrating my wife's birthday. It was our first break after our honeymoon. And on top of that, we were about to announce and celebrate some good news. We were 3 months pregnant, and we were expecting our firstborn. And so while we're there, I thought, perfect place for me to take a good photo with a lovely backdrop and share and announce with the world that we are about to become parents. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Fringe Festival, it's where all types of performance, comedy, entertainment come together from the world over to experience joy, to experience happiness. And I thought, what better place to celebrate and announce to the world that we're now going to become parents. And we'd take a lovely photo with the castles in Edinburgh as a backdrop. But while we were there celebrating this and thinking that the beautiful life was pretty straightforward and there was a beautiful future ahead, we had a miscarriage. And we lost our little one. And of course, it was a crushing moment for mum, and it was a crushing moment for me. And I've never been in a position where I have to witness or experience a mum losing a child. And I've also not been in a position where I have to console that person. So while I might have been physically able to do all the things that I was showing you I was able to do here, I was not emotionally resilient. It led to me stressing. It led to me getting heart palpitations, and I ended up hospitalized the next day. And those heart palpitations wouldn't go. And I remember being there, I was only 33 at the time. I'm going through this heart pain and uncertainty about what's going on. I'm having these blood tests taken on me, ECG tests happening for me. And I'm thinking to myself, this so isn't the definition of success. I might be a vice president of a bank. I might have a great salary, a great career, great bank balance. But that is not the true definition of success if I don't have control and ownership of this vehicle. And I remember lying down that bed, and my wife is sat on the chair next to me. And I'm saying to her, why don't you just go home, go sleep? It was like 3 a.m. in A&E. Why don't you go sleep and come back tomorrow and everything will be okay? And she just snapped at me. She screamed. She goes, there's no way I'm waking up tomorrow having lost another one. This is one day after we've had the miscarriage, and the next day I'm in hospital. And it really hit me for the first time when she said those very piercing words that, wow, the way I treat myself or relate to myself as don't tell me what to do never considered that actually other people bank on my fitness. And when each of you get, whether you have parents, whether you have kids, whether you have colleagues at work, or the milkman around the corner, that you show up inside of your community and society and play the role that you play, there are people that bank on your fitness. They bank on you showing up. And if you really get connected to that level of self-love and relatedness to yourself and work on that relationship to you, then only it makes sense to say, I want to optimize this vehicle because my kids, my parents, my siblings, my colleagues, my employees, my business vision depends on me. And that was the birth of FITBANKER. And while we lost a baby, it was the birth of my interest in transforming my health. And so after I was from 108 kg, I lost 20 something kg. At 86, 87 kilos, I took on and signed up for the FITBANKER challenge. I did my own health transformation challenge. And then during that competition I was part of, I lost further weight, got toned, got a six-pack at 35. And I remember then beyond this, I went down to 5.9% body fat and my lightest being 75.9 kilos. And going through that transformation, I had a lot of people reach out to me saying, what did you do, Ronnie? How did you train? Because I'm not a PT by background. I am now. I wasn't then. I had no nutrition education before then. I'm not a sports person or any athlete by background. I'm an ordinary geezer like any or many of you might be that joined, which focused on my academic side and didn't focus so much on my physique, physicality, or fitness. And that inquiry from people led to me launching FITBANKER, which is an organization that now exists to educate people to discover optimal health. And we want to disappear lifestyle disease through education, not medication. And since we've begun, it's now been going on for over 6 years. We've had hundreds of people globally do this from about 25 or 26 countries. Here are some of the people that have done the program. As you watch these results, I want you to think about you. Be inspired by them, but definitely think, what would you do if you got that inspiration? Is it fitting into that dress? Is it going on that beach holiday? Is it starting a career in nutrition or something passion-based when you have that new relationship to you? This is the doctor who signed up. She's a GP. She did a program. She lost 9.1 kilos. This is one of the Italian participants. During the program, lost 11.3, went on to lose 20 kg. When she lost 20 kilos, she said she wanted to go into acting. And so she started acting in Western theater. She did some course in London. And after acting in theater, she's now become a screenplay writer in London. That's Ellie. This is who I call the Fit Doctors. These are a couple of doctors from the US. They are based in Florida. They regularly appear on news. The guy on the left did the FITBANKER challenge. He lost 53 pounds. The guy on the right did it and he lost 36 pounds. Because they're doctors, now they look and feel and stand for and represent what they are for the world as doctors. They're health leaders. This is Simran, somebody who did the FITBANKER challenge and started off and has been overweight all her life. And her family always related to her as somebody that they call a foodie. She just loves eating this and eating that and always got all her favorite foods. And she can't do this physical task and she can't exercise and she can't do mountains. That was the world she grew up in. She signs up to the FITBANKER challenge. She loses 15.8 kg. She became the new female record holder. She then goes on to sign up to Kilimanjaro, loses a further 4.5 or 5 kg in preparation for Kilimanjaro. Today, she is 34 kilos lighter. She was a FITBANKER coach. She's now based in India. She's changed her career. She moved country, all from altering her relationship to herself and boosting her self-confidence. Then there is Preeti. Preeti is somebody who has done the FITBANKER challenge. She said, I'm doing a program because I hear you guys coach amazing stuff on mindset. So I've heard. I'm already good on the health front because I'm vegan. I was like, oh, are you? So tell me about what you eat. And we looked at what she eats as a vegan. And of course, included in there was some crisps and some sweet stuff and this, that, the other, and fried foods. And we realized you can be vegan, but you can also be healthy vegan. Going vegan or vegetarian does not mean it's healthy. But I've been vegetarian all my life. I was vegetarian when I was overweight. And I'm vegetarian now. And I don't eat eggs. And you can do this program whether you're non-veg, pescatarian, whatever your dietary preference is. She went on to lose 12.6 kg in weight. She's lost 12% body fat. She became a coach. And guess what? On the July challenge starting on Monday, those of you that already signed up know this, she is the head coach of that program. So we have a big coaching structure. You have a big support team around you when you're on the program. And then there is Sue. Sue Patel is somebody else who had done and tried multiple other programs. She caused some results, but she felt isolated. She felt lonely on her fitness journey. If you're someone that has ever felt lonely, doing your own health or feeling I don't know what to do, or I'm not motivated on my own, then you can raise your hand. There's a thing called reactions, and raise your hand if you've ever felt lonely. That's what she felt, isolated and on her own. And then she did the FITBANKER challenge, and she felt, wow, this is so community-based. She loved the weekly conversations, the weekly webinars, the weekly catch-ups. There's a team. We make team videos and team intros and team games. And she went on Transform Her Health. She wanted to focus on strength. She's a single mom. And as a single mom, she had to make sure she knew people bank on her fitness. And so she optimized and prioritized herself. She went on to become a FITBANKER coach. She did plank classes. She's done a 23-minute plank with FITBANKER. And now she's also head coach on the current ongoing June challenge. So that's an example of what's possible. Then there's Anoli. I don't know if anyone here is inspired or knows Anoli. Anoli is somebody who has inspired many people into our community. She's somebody who's a mom after her second born child. She had put on a lot of weight. She was 75 kg. I'm going to repeat this. She was 75 kilos, and 1/3 of this lady has disappeared. 1/3. So think about you where you are. Whatever your body weight is, if obesity or overweight is the thing you want to deal with, which many of us often we're in denial of, we think we can cope, like I was. She's somebody who signed up. She was hesitant. She finally started the program after a few delays. She lost 3 kilos in that process from signing up and her day one. On her second challenge, by day 30, she was at 50 kg, which was her goal. And she's now between 49, 50, 51 kg. She's also an inspiring coach in the FITBANKER community, and she's inspired many people globally, from Australia to Trinidad and other parts of the Caribbean and across the UK. And there are many FITBANKERs in our community who've been inspired by Anoli. And then there's this old man here. This guy signed up at 70 years old. I call him Dad. He came to the UK to visit us. And while he was there, I was like, Dad, got to get on a scale. Let's see what you're made of. And we look at and we focus on the FITBANKER challenge on body composition. And we found 43% of Dad is fat, which means 30-something kg of weight he was carrying around of fat. He's now 30 kilos lighter. He's now 76 years old. He does 20-minute planks. He had high cholesterol and was on high cholesterol statins. He had high BP medication. He had a daily aspirin. He had a total of 22 pills a day. At 76, he's now 5 years clean of medication, and he's off that medication, and he walks 15 kilometers. He can do 15-kilometer trek. He walks easily 6 to 7K a day, and he's 30 kilos lighter. What's more is he's now a grandfather. I never got to meet my father's dad. He's got to meet his kids' children. We now have 2 amazing kids, and he gets to be granddad. Then there's Urvi. Anybody here from Kenya who is inspired by Urvi? Let me know if you're on. Do raise your hand if you are joining from Kenya. She's a mom who joined while breastfeeding. She's had a second born, and she was really committed to transforming her health. She felt a lot of fatigue, a lot of lethargy. She felt like she had a lot of stuff she was doing as a mom, as a wife, and running her own business and taking care of the kids. And with all that was going on for her, she felt completely drained at the end of each day. Now she feels like she's got more hours in a day. She's very energetic. She has transformed her health. She's about 12 kilos lighter, and she's inspired so many people that we have on today on the challenge from Kenya. So that's what is possible by the amazing Urvi. And I really invite you guys to get connected to what would be possible for you if you took on your health. There's me. Like I said, I never imagined, as somebody who was academically focused, a chartered accountant by background, a banker by background, a fat banker, that I would climb mountains. I'm the only Zambian to summit Mount Kilimanjaro 6 times. I have, on the 7th time, taken my kid up to 4,000 meters, the youngest 3-year-old in the world to do that. That's an example of what's possible after your after photo. So when we invite you to take on the program, have a very long-term and empowering why, because we want you to go and live into that future life. That said, how do we cause these results? We're going to share how we do it. I'm going to share with you the secret and the science. You can take notes. You can ask questions. You can also take screenshots if you wish to take screenshots. And but this is your session. So please come on camera if you have any questions you want to ask. And if you just want to connect with me so that we can see face to face here. There's a beautiful Buddhist saying, which is empty your cup so that it may be filled. Something that Bruce Lee also quoted. And what we mean by that is if you've done a prior program, if you've tried other diets, if you said, I need to cut these foods out, and you think that was the answer, but it didn't work, maybe that wasn't the answer. So the first step to causing and learning something new is to give up all that we have in our mind called mental blockers, called assumptions, called expectations, called excuses that we say ourselves. So here are some of the ones people tell us, or I have said or gone through myself before I went through my transformation. And the old way causes this kind of volley where you lose a little bit of weight, and then as soon as something happens, you get busy, or there's a holiday or a wedding or a party, it all goes off tangent and our weight volleys back up. And if you do the FITBANKER challenge by design, because what we're working on is we're rewiring some neuronal pathways. If you do all the assignments, if you do the daily habits and actions we ask you, your brain starts to reshape and reform itself. In the Vedas, we call it forms a new vasana, right? And so historically, you have to first distinguish all that you believe or was your existing level of awareness, which is, the old me said, well, I've tried this diet and that diet. Those are all called fad or yo-yo diets. They work short term, but if you don't understand the underlying science, then you won't know why to continue it, and it will volley back up. Or like me, I used to think just exercise more. So Monday to Friday, I would eat what I want, drink what I want at work. Saturday, Sunday, I would try to go for a run or a walk as far as I can, thinking that will burn off the calories. Completely not. Or I would sometimes skip meals. I would rush to work, I'd have long days, and I'd think if I just skip a meal, good, I will probably lose some weight. Actually, what I was doing was putting my body into what's called starvation and then conservative mode. Or you might consume some pills called fat burning pills or fat loss pills. If there's anything you consume that claims to burn anything in you, it probably isn't food. It probably isn't good for you. It's probably some kind of a bleach, which can probably be poisonous. So there isn't really a thing called a fat burning pill. There are some metabolic booster pills that we will talk about on the program, but there isn't anything that burns fat. Or we might have an excuse and a story saying, hey, I've been doing this or consuming what our ancestors ate. My parents have been eating this. I grew up eating this. It's our nation's staple diet. Or cavemen have been eating the paleo diet. Why on earth, Ronnie, should be telling me I don't eat these foods? Well, there's a difference, because what cavemen did was they had to hunt and gather and move a certain amount a day to get their food to consume it. We can't be consuming the same, but then be sat at desk-based jobs, or sat in a car, or sat in the tube, or sat on the Uber. Or we can't be, we can't be saying that my grandmom lived till 93 and she used to eat these fried foods and sugar in a tea and all this other stuff, but I'm not. Well, my own granddad would walk every day between 5 to 10 kilometers just to get to work and back, and those jobs were quite labor intensive. Whereas today, we are very mental-based jobs. We sit, we're very sedentary, we don't move so much physically, but our access to food and availability of food and affordability of food has gone up 2 to 3 times. So what we consume is a lot more. So we need to now wake up and adjust what we're doing. Or like me, I used to have a resigned view called, if anything happens to me, NHS or my medical insurance or my employer will take care of me, which again is not what we do. So the first step in transforming your body starts by looking at your diet. And it's not about what is something new I can consume that will fix what's inside. We need to look at what are we already consuming that might be causing a negative state in my body. So we've never been told this and never been taught that there are foods that are inflammatory in nature. And all disease begins with inflammation. And my old diet used to look like this, and I don't know what each of yours looks like, but my old breakfast would be a cereal like this, maybe Frosties with milk with added sugar, then a snack bar at 10 or 11 because the packet said 11s. Then at lunch, I would have a baguette with some nice cheese and jalapenos and tomato and hummus and a whole bunch of stuff in there. And then my biscuits, I would have biscuits at 4 or 5 p.m. or a Kit Kat, because the Kit Kat said on the label, take a break. So when I take a break, I go have a Kit Kat. And in the evening, I'm too tired to cook on my way home, so I just order a pizza or a pasta, and I'm suddenly loading myself with carbs, putting 1,200 calories in my body at night, and then going to sleep. Guess what? That doesn't disappear anywhere. It goes to storage. But when we consume these foods, what they have inside all of those is what's called high glycemic index carbs, which is when they go through the walls of the stomach, they create a blood sugar spike. The blood sugar spike creates an insulin release. And multiple times a day, having that insulin high creates an inflamed state in our body. So the first thing we do in the FITBANKER challenge is we remove a list of foods. We want to take out anything that is causing inflammation in our body. And then what we do is we want to alkalize the body. We're going to talk about alkalizing the body in a second. But what we do is we enrich the food with good fats, with more fiber, with complex carbs. It's not a carb-free diet, and especially with higher protein. And as a vegetarian, I was getting very low protein. I was getting about 20% of what my total bodily needs are. And why are we doing this? We start to reboot our metabolism because we reduce the blood sugar spike. We have more stable, steady energy, so we feel more energetic across the day, and then I don't feel like I'm dozing at my desk at 2 p.m. Now, how on earth did it go wrong? Well, I'll tell you where it went wrong. This is on the .gov.uk website. It's one piece of information that was created in the 70s or 80s to educate humanity about balanced meals and balanced nutrition. It used to be called the Eat Well plate. And if you think about it, a lot of us might have grown up eating foods that had just one macronutrient. So you could have a meal which just had breads or chapati or carb-based mixed with more carb, mixed with more carb, right? You'd have a soup made out of carb, you'd have a yogurt made out of carb, you'd have a rice or a chapati made out of carb, and we'd wonder why we're only getting one of them. Then there were eating disorders, there was malnutrition, and there were other health issues in the 80s. So they created this thing to simplify the message to tell everybody how to get a balanced meal. The way we interpreted it is we thought, okay, that applies to me. That applies to all of us. But that's not true. We are all so different and unique. Some of us are overweight and might have a lifestyle condition. We need to avoid some of these things. Some of us are underweight, might have a history of eating disorder or bulimia or anxiety or comfort eating, and we might need to remove some of these that don't work for us or add something else more of that supports us. And so the historic way was one piece of information applies to everybody. What we're saying is you're so unique. You're so unique that you need to understand transformative health. So when people ask me, are your meal plans tailored? No, your routine and what you eat is tailored. It's customized based on you understanding the principles of food, the uniqueness of your body, the current metabolism that you have, and what is the goals that you're working towards. And so we look at your lifestyle, your emotional and mental barriers. We look at and we talk about functional eating, and we look at and consider your body types. We also look at body composition. What is body composition? All of us underneath our skin have three things there. We have muscle, we have fat, and we have bone. And we all have different and varying percentages of that. So two of us on this call could be 80 kilos in weight, but one of us might have more fat in that 80 kg and less muscle. Another one of us might have more muscle and less fat. So your weight, if you think you're judging yourself whether you're healthy based on your weight, that's a very poor indicator. If you're judging yourself based on your BMI, that's no different from weight because it's just weight divided by height squared. So we look at body composition, which is fat percentage and muscle mass and bone density. And we have some scales where you can get on and they tell you what you're made of. And then we know what your starting point is, what your goal should be for your age and gender, and how to get there. And then we don't just coach at the physical level. We coach also on what I call mental muscle. So the science, the technical content. Emotional, we look at how we form certain habits. We look at underlying things like resentment, like anger, like grief, like lack of forgiveness. We look at the spiritual muscle, which is we want you to look at what are you doing as a job? What are you doing as a career? What's your daily routine? Is that aligned with the kind of body type you are, with the kind of nature that you have? Is that in line with your authentic nature? So just because I was good in banking, just because I got great pay and great promotions and great bonuses, doesn't mean I had to stay there, because it's not aligned with my authentic nature and my purpose in life. And so we have had people here who have also made a career change once they got their relationship to themselves sorted. So that's what we mean by spiritual. It's not religious in any nature. So here are some of the examples of my mental blockers that I had. And one that I had was, that's me and my fiance at our engagement drinks. And we used to love going out after work. We would eat out, we would drink loads, and she could party the night away and bunker the night away. And she'd have loads of energy. And I noticed something was different. It gives her a lot of energy, but it would get me tired. I would be lethargic, I would be fatigued, I would be bloated. I might have some sort of chest burn or acid burn, and I might have some gas buildup. And then the next day I've put on 0.5 kilo. And I was very clear, like, bloody hell, something's wrong with me. Life is unfair. How on earth did I find one of those so-called athletic women where whatever she eats, whatever she drinks, she can get away with it, but I can't? And what I said at the start was we are made up of the 3 I's. So the old I believed life was unfair. But actually we look at inspiration, information, and implementation. The information I didn't have, which I now have learned, is called the science of body types. And in Ayurveda, we talk about this. There's 5,000-year-old science that says we need to understand what type of body are we? Are we Vata? Are we Pitta? Or do we have more Kapha in us? If you understand that it has a certain metabolism, it has a certain response to certain foods, it has a certain sensitivity to certain foods. And knowing my body type, I realized, you know what? I have a bit more of a carb sensitivity, and it slows down my metabolism, and it very quickly puts food into storage in my body. And if I was never taught that, I would keep eating what everyone else around me eats. And most of us do that. When we go today for lunch, the dining table, look at how you're going to just eat what others eat. When you go out for a meal or restaurant today, or you go to a restaurant, one menu is being given to everybody, which means we are getting to choose from what everybody is being offered, not what's unique to us. In Western science, the body types are called ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. And if you understand your body type, we cannot shift that. But better than body type, deeper than that, we look at your body composition. So you might be like any of the images on the left. And we are going to work with you over a plan and weekly coaching to get you from there to optimal. Optimal means for men, we want to get you about 45% muscle, and females about 36% muscle. Men should have a fat percent range between 10 and 19, and females should be between 21 and 33. That's what we're committed to do. And the way we get you there is on a day-by-day basis. We're looking at what are you made of? Now, where are those calories, and more specifically, the quality of those calories coming from? So we use an app called MyFitnessPal, where you just start to record your food. When you record your food, we can have a look at where is your energy coming from, what and how do those molecules behave inside of you. If you're starting the program Monday, please take a screenshot of this, because this is how you're going to go and set up your app once you download these two apps, MyFitnessPal and Runkeeper. And even if you're not on the challenge yet, you're considering it, please take a photo so you can still support yourself on your journey. We don't use the default factory settings of these apps. What we do with MyFitnessPal is we set the macro goals to 30% protein, 30% fat, and 40% carbs. And once you've done that on MyFitnessPal, Runkeeper is where you record your activity going outdoors. On both these apps, go there, go under the section called Friends. If you want to see what I do, my movement, my consumption, add me as FITBANKER, and you'll be able to follow me through my journey, and you'll get a nudge and a prompt every time I'm out on a walk. Or if you want to review my diary, you can do the same, but also share your diary, change your diary settings to public so that I can see what you are consuming. Okay, that said, let's have a look at what MyFitnessPal is or does. On the inside, I said earlier, I'm going to tell you how to lose fat. Well, it's very simple to lose a pound of fat. All you have to do is create a 3,500 calorie deficit. What do I mean by create a 3,500 calorie deficit? Well, if you join me for a day on Mount Kilimanjaro, we can do that in a day. But of course, that's not sustainable, so we spread it out across a week. So we aim for a daily deficit of average of 500. And this is an example of somebody who's recorded their food. They have a goal of consuming 1,700 calories based on their needs, their age, their height, their size, their exercise level. They've so far consumed 1,100 calories. They've increased their allowance by exercising 273 calories. And at the end of that day, they have an 864 calorie deficit. Now, if they stop there and close their diary for the day, that means they're done. They will have a good deficit. They go to sleep. They're on course to lose weight by end of the week. But if they consume more, then they will stay the same. And so what we do is we ask you to aim for an average of 500, and don't do that by under-eating. We don't want to form an eating disorder, and we don't want to compromise the fuel and energy required that goes to your immune system. So just bear with me a second, guys. Got my little one walk in. 1 second. Okay, apologies, guys. Sorry, my little one just walked in with the salad. Okay, so the next thing I said earlier, we'll talk to you about how do we break down fat. One part of breaking down fat is most of our bodies are acidic in nature. And what we want to do is to alkalize the body. And the way you alkalize the body is we get alkaline foods inside of us. So these two smoothies are designed based on alkaline ingredients. They have more green veg in them and slightly less fruit. And it's very different to the type of smoothie you find in a mall, which would be pumped and loaded with fruit sugars. And so you can take a screenshot of these if you wish. And if you want a higher resolution version of these, when you sign up, you'll get them to you in email. Or you can also message me if you're connected with me on any social media platform. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, just search for fitbanker.co on Instagram. I'm most responsive on Instagram. And if anybody wants my WhatsApp number, just put that in the chat and I will send it to you. And you can message me on WhatsApp if you have any questions after this. So we start to alkalize our body by having this smoothie daily. And by having this alkaline smoothie, we start to improve the metabolism and efficiency of our body, and we oxidize our body and our blood. That said, once you've got that going for you, the next thing we need to do is we need to trigger a chemical process in your body, a biochemical process in your body called thermogenesis. It's something all of us have. And thermogenesis simply means, how do you trigger your body's ability to generate, as the word genesis says, heat, which is thermal, right? You can generate heat from your internal source of your body, and the way we do that is we look for three things in your workout. Most of us have been doing exercise or walking or some form of activity, but we aren't triggering these three: breathlessness, raise in body temperature, which is sweat, and the third one is raising our pulse to about 70%. And so we ask you to oscillate your heart rate during a workout between 60 and 90. And one way of doing that is to do like a 7-minute HIIT workout. And so you would do 40 seconds of work like jumping jacks, 20 seconds of push-ups, 40 seconds of lunges, 40 seconds of jumping jacks, 20-second rest, 40 seconds of push-ups, 20-second rest, 40 seconds of lunges, and so on. And you go through this routine. You could do 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds of this. The longer you push, the more burn you're creating after the workout. So much after you're done with the workout, it carries on to burn for you. And on the program, we show you how to calculate the point at which your fat begins to break down. The formula is at the bottom, which is you calculate your max heart rate, and 70% of that is the sweet spot that you want to get or hit. That said, I'm about to wrap up how the program works. So if you have any questions, now would be the time to be coming on. But I have just 2 more slides before I wrap up the design of the program and what makes it work and what causes results. One of the big things that causes results is we do connect on social media platforms. We're connected on WhatsApp and Facebook, and we do ask people to share their journey, share their progress. And so this is the guy who shares, and we found there's a strong correlation between you sharing your updates, asking questions, sharing what you're dealing with, being generous and vulnerable with any of your struggles, asking for support and help from the coaches or myself. And the more you do this, you're likely to be more consistent, you're likely to push harder and go further. And you'll also, the more you share and get used to being okay with yourself and your journey exactly as you are when you start, you'll worry less about what other people think. It might be uncomfortable at the start, but believe you me, it becomes fun, it becomes enjoyable, and it really does get easier. African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, if you want to make this a lifestyle change that lasts, then go together, which is the way the FITBANKER group coaching program works. Now, that said, this one is a warning slide. This warning slide is, hey, all of you guys are performers in your life. All of you guys are achievers in your life. All of you guys are distinct from many others. Like I said, I think there were 30-something people registered for today, and eight people have shown up. Out of the 8 people that have shown up, what sets us apart from many others is we are performers and achievers in what we do. But one of the downsides of being an achiever is it's like a double-edged sword, is that just because we're really good at a certain area of our life called our career or media or TV presenting or property investing or parenting or cooking, the other side is that if I expose myself to a new area of life and I'm not really good at that, then what I will do is I will sabotage my performance. So we create what we call a self-sabotage mechanism. We say we're too busy, I don't have time, the technology is too much, I don't like my coach, I don't like my team. We create what's called subconscious reasons to not want to deal with this thing that's confronting us or that's uncomfortable. And if you know that that's what may happen for you, you can park that behavior aside and you'll say, you know what, I'm open to transforming. And so I want you, coach, I want you, team, I want you, Ronnie, I want you, FITBANKER community, to show me the way that works, because I've found 10,000 ways that don't work. So you really have to be open-minded and open to learning to discover a methodology that works and that lasts way beyond your 90 days. If you do it by design and show up on the webinars and do the assignments. That said, final wrap-up is Aristotle has this beautiful quote. He says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." Now, what do we mean by that? You taking on your health transformation is not a one-off stunt. So it may not just be the 90 days. At the end of your 90 days, you might find that you haven't got to optimal body composition. You might find you're still dealing with lethargy, low energy, fatigue, etc. You might find that you still have a negative relationship to certain foods, which are your comfort foods, which are addictive, or you're forming other habits that has you self-sabotage your performance, and you're turning to alcohol, you're turning to less sleep, you're turning to stressful relationships. And so it's not a one-off stunt. Sometimes we do encourage people to do 1, 2, or 3 challenges back to back. And so to do that, whenever you've done, after you've done your first program, the second or third one is at a knockoff price. So it's about 20% of the full price of the program for those of you that want to encore on your journey. So part of the program is about sharing. It's about daily and weekly check-ins on your WhatsApp group. It's about a weekly coaching call, a weekly webinar with me, and you have a bonus Q&A opportunity for you to join me on as well every Friday. It's what we call Friday night surgeries. So that said, that is a wrap of what the program entails. I'm not going to pause and take any questions before I go into the detail of the program. Any questions, guys? Anyone have any questions around the program?
No, that was quite good. Thank you. Explained a lot.
Okay, cool. Thanks for being on. If anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your virtual hand or come on camera. So what happens when you sign up? And if you'd like to sign up, there are some limited packs remaining at fitbanker.com/go. But let me tell you what happens and what you get inside of the program once you've signed up. If you have any questions about the signing up or concern around signing up or something you want to clarify as to whether this is for you or not for you, please do ask now over the next 2-3 slides as we finalize. So when you join the program, over the program, there are 10 webinars. There are 10 webinars just like this one you've joined today. Today is to prepare you for Monday's start, or if you're somebody who's not yet signed up, you're here to find out about it. It's also to explain what lies ahead. They will be run live, and if they're not run live, we'll be giving you a recording. And if you cannot join live, we'll also share the recording with you. This is an example of meal plans that we give you. So people ask me, what do the meal plans look like? And they vary. This is for a pescatarian and somebody that's a pescatarian on a weight loss diet. This is just the lunch options. There are also different options for breakfast. There are different options for dinner or supper. And then there are snack times in between. There are 2 options. So you get 5 meal or snack options and 5 options, 5 days worth of options. So you can choose any of them, mix and match to have you get towards your goal. When you sign up, you'll get a questionnaire called a commencement questionnaire. So if you've already signed up, look out for that email and you will click on that link and find out what body type you are according to Ayurveda and bodybuilding. And then you'll get training programs. These are simple PDFs that state the name of the exercise, the number of sets you need to do, and the number of reps. But we count on you to actually take that printout and go through the list of exercises and do them on each of the days that's scheduled. We're not calling you on a phone and Skype and looking at you doing your movement and exercise. We're counting on you to do that. So if you want to, if it supports you, you can also have a trainer or PT or somebody come to your home or go to the gym to do them. You can do them at the gym, at home, or outdoors. You'll also be connected on a private Facebook group called FITBANKER Campus. So if you have already signed up, then search for that group on Facebook and join it. You'll only be added to there if you answer the questions and confirm that you've signed up. You'll be assigned a group team and a group coach, and you'll be part of a WhatsApp group. On Fridays, we have Friday night surgeries. And during lockdown, we created these daily Zoom workouts, which you can join. Even if you're not on the FitBanker Challenge right now, these are being run pro bono for the lockdown period. So you can message me if you'd like to be added there. If you want my WhatsApp number as mentioned, let me know, and I'll share that with you. And there's a WhatsApp group you can join and be part of. There are yoga classes, there are HIIT classes, there are strong classes, there are dance classes, there's Bounce Bhangra every Saturday. So that's some of what's available as an option to all of you. That said, who do you get to be after? Well, you get to transform the status of multiple things. Here are some of the results people have done. This is somebody who was pre-diabetic, and she was told if she didn't reverse or rectify her sugar levels, she would be labeled type 2 diabetic. She, within the first month of the program, got the all clear, was not given that. She went on to lose 14.5 kg, and she transformed her career. She actually worked in the lab where she was diagnosed as a phlebotomist, and then she went on to become a realtor and works in real estate and is doing really well there. This is somebody who was struggling with fertility, and she was overweight. She was not allowed to start her IVF process. They couldn't conceive naturally. She did our program. She lost about 10 point something kg, 8 kilos by week 10 of the program. She was approved to start her IVF process. She had 1 child and they wanted 1 more. and she was able to successfully start an IVF process, conceive. She went on to have twins, and when the twins were 5 months old, I went out to meet her and interview her. And as we were doing the interview, we didn't know this, but she was at the time 3 months pregnant with a fourth child, which they conceived for the first time naturally. And they were told they couldn't conceive naturally, and IVF was their only option. And so she went from 1 to 4 kids in a 20-month window. And then there is this person who had diabetes. He was on 4 metformins a day, and he took on the FITBANKER challenge at the age of 72. He's now 73. He is now about 11 or 12 kilos lighter. He has reduced his medication almost off them. He's down to 1 metformin a day, and they're kind of keeping him on that as a safety backup. They might ask him to discontinue. We don't tell you to get off any medication. We ask you to go ask your doctor. Whoever put you on that medication will tell you to get off it, but we tell you how you can naturally reverse or alter whatever lifestyle or health condition that you're dealing with. And for some people, it's a boost in confidence. This is our new female record holder. She lost 18.8 kg in 90 days. This is a phenomenal record created by Vera, and she's somebody who's continued her journey with FITBANKER, and we're looking forward to her next update in the new Vera coming through this program. So that said, that's what's possible through the FITBANKER challenge. If you would like to sign up, as mentioned, you can go and sign up at fitbanker.com/go. Why do we exist, and why does it matter that you work with a group of professionals who have been through their own transformations and that are supporting others through their transformation? Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be fat, overweight, and unwell, but that's what happens when you don't have a plan. And that's effectively what we are. We are a group of coaches. We have a trialed and tested program. We're 6 years old. We have hundreds of people globally that have done this program and caused multiple breakthroughs like the ones that we have shared. Now, there is a one-to-one option, but today we're talking about the group coaching program. It starts in 2 days. It starts on Monday. And so it works out to about $100 a week for your weekly webinars, your meal plan ideas, your training programs, your weekly coaching call, your Friday night surgery, and a whole host of things that you get. You get free workouts that you can be part of every day. You can still join those right now pro bono, even if you're not on the challenge. The mega early bird packs are gone. I believe they're gone unless if you went on the website and found it, then lucky you. If it's at $497, then lucky you. Otherwise, it should be the $697 packs should be on right now. And you can sign up at fitbanker.com/go. That said, for those of you that have stayed on and anyone that joined and left, may have missed this out, but if you do sign up today, there's a webinar only code. If the 497 is gone, you can use this code called 150 off today, and it will reduce that 697 to 547. So you're paying about $50 more than the mega early bird price, but still a phenomenal deal. That said, and less than half price of the program. Any questions from anyone? We're now about to wrap up, and I want to just open if any of you have any questions or any comments that you want to say or share. Thanks, Rita. I've just seen your comment in the chat. Any questions, anybody else? Or any comments, anything you want to share or acknowledge?
No, all good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Damni. Anyone else?
No, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rita. And Lavina, looking forward to you on your journey starting Monday, and welcome back to the FITBANKER family. Okay, great. So that's it, guys. We will wrap up. And anyone that does want to get on, please don't hesitate. Our health now has been more important than ever. Awesome. See you Monday, Zaid. Excellent. That said, I will, once you apply that code, you will see that 697 price reduced to 540. Tiger, 1 second. Apologies, guys. I'm going to wrap up now, guys, and leave you with this quote. When asked what surprised him most about humanity, the Dalai Lama answered, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he's so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. On that note, guys, it is a wrap. Thanks all for being with me on this Saturday morning. And if you have any questions, please connect with me on Instagram at fitbanker.co. and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks, Damini. Thanks, Rita. Thanks, Pavandeep. Thanks, Zaid. Thanks, Lavina. And bye for now. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.